Alrighty, good morning. This is lesson 6-13 in math, and we're talking about multiplying whole numbers and fractions. So we're going to take those fractions that we know about and just simply multiply them by a whole number. So the activities, the problems we're going to be doing are on page 224 and 225, and I've got them both in this seesaw template, so you can do them there, or you can do them in your math journal, which is probably the easiest to take a picture, or if you need to, do them online at Everyday Math. So we're going to be working on page 224. We'll do an example on page 225. We'll do number 4. But first, let's go over this. It's called making lip balm. Lip balm protects your lips from chapping. I'm reading right at the top there. It can be made at home with help from an adult. The ingredients below for one batch, so they have these batches that they're talking about, and then a batch fills 4 small tubes. And so you can see the tubes right there. Okay, and so that's one batch. So in order to make a batch, you need to have 4 teaspoons of beeswax, 2 teaspoons of something called shea butter, 3 teaspoons of almond oil, and 1/8 to 1 teaspoon of whatever flavoring you want to use. So they're going to use different flavorings for these. So solve the following problems. Use drawings, words, and equations to represent the problems. So the key thing for us to remember, because we're going over to the next page, is that if you have 4 small tubes, that's one batch. So one batch is 4 small tubes. Okay, let's go over to the next page. Now we're going to go ahead and do problem 4 because it looked really challenging and fun. And so this is number 4 that we're doing. And so Julia made 24 tubes of cherry lip balm. She used 3/4 of a teaspoon of cherry flavoring oil in each batch. I'm going to underline that. And she made how many tubes? 24. In all, how much cherry flavoring did she use? How much was it? 3/4 of a teaspoon for each one? In each batch. Okay, so she's got 24 tubes. How many batches is that? So what was it? Four tubes to a batch? I think I'm going to find something a little thicker to write with. Yeah. 4 tubes to a batch. To one batch. Okay, and that was 4 tubes in one batch. Trying to find an easier way to write on this thing. Okay, anyway, so that's and she has 24 tubes. So 24 tubes is going to be equal to how many batches? Well, how do you get from 4 to 24? It's times 6. So it's going to be 6 batches. So 6 batches is what she's making. And she'll put it all into 24 tubes. She uses 3/4 of a teaspoon of cherry flavoring for each batch. So in words, this is going to be how many groups of 3/4? So it's going to be, I'm going to do this over here. 4 groups? No, 6 batches, 6 groups of how much of a teaspoon for the flavoring? 6 groups of 3/4. So this is what we're going to be multiplying, 6 and 3/4. Well, how can we do that? Well, one way to do it is to make a drawing, which is what it says for us to do here. since this is so small, such a small space down here, I'm going to do it off to the side here. So 6 groups of 3/4. So 1, 2. My drawings are going to be fast because my finger's drawing it, and I'm going to have to color them in. 4 and 5. Oh, 6. And it's 3/4, right? So let's choose it. Can I choose a different color here? How do I do that? Oh, yeah. Oops, boy. Okay, so let's fill it in 3/4. So 3/4. So how many little fourths am I going to get here? 3/4 again. 3/4 again. There's probably a better way to do this, but so I can do that. I can add up 3/4 plus 3/4. I guess I could do an addition equation there. See the addition equation? So there's my drawing. I'm going to do my addition equation right here. 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. By the way, when you turn these things in, don't just turn in a drawing of your work doing the problem that I'm doing, like I saw on one yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to show your work doing the other problems. Okay, and so, if you add up all those 3/4, that equals 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 and 3 is 15, 18. 18/4. It's a lot of fourths. Another way you can do it is by multiplying. So you get the multiplication equation. So there was our addition equation. So that's adding. Okay, then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to use a different color, maybe like a violet one, and we'll do the multiplication. So multiplication. How many groups of 3/4 was it? 6. 6 times 3/4. The way I always teach students is that 6 is the same as 6/1, 6 ones, 6 wholes, and then you can just multiply across. That's what you do in fractions. That's why I love fractions so much. So you just multiply 6 times 3, 18. How many fourths? 1 times 4, and it's 18/4. Okay, we're almost finished. The only problem is we can write in an answer up here of 18/4 right here, which is really tough for me to write, but I'll put it there, 18/4. But that also equals, as you probably know, a mixed number. How many times does 4 go into 18? Well, 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 and 2/4. Okay, you can check yourself by going 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. 18/4. So it's a little division problem, 18 divided by 4. So that's the better way to write it, 4 and 2/4. And some of you may even recognize, probably all of you, that 2/4, is the same as 1/2. So 4 and 1/2 is how many teaspoons that she will be using. I put a box around it to show my answer because the teacher needs to find it. That's it. So it's a lot of work on that one. You won't have to convert from tubes to batches on yours, I don't think, unless you go and do the extra one down here, which is really nice. Okay. That's it. So you're going to be doing problems 1 through 3 with maybe number 5 as extra credit. Good luck, everyone.